FDA has approved Bemotrizinol. I think it's a very good news for American patients, though frankly, it's overdue. As a Korean American dermatologist, I've seen both sides. In Korea, Australia, and Europe, patients have had access to modern sunscreen filters for decades, and many of those formulations are lighter, more elegant, and easier to wear every day. In the United States, we have excellent sunscreens, but our ingredient list has lagged behind other parts of the world. So, how long will it take for sunscreen brands to start selling sunscreen with Bemotrizinol? Will Korean and European sunscreens that contain Bemotrizinol immediately be available in the United States? Now that the FDA has acted and approved the Bemotrizinol, I would expect the first US compliant Bemotrizinol containing products to appear soon, but not every brand will have one overnight. Sunscreen is a drug product in the United States, so companies still need to formulate, test, label, manufacture, and distribute products that meet US requirements. The earliest products may come first from companies already preparing for this shift, while broader availability may take longer. Many excellent Korean and European sunscreens do not rely just on Bemotrizinol. They often combine it with several other modern filters that are still not yet approved in the United States. Those formulas cannot simply be placed on American shelves unchanged. Brands may need to reformulate specifically for the US market. I'm sure many US and international manufacturers have anticipated this moment. This opens a door, but it does not instantly import the entire Korean or European sunscreen market into the United States. What is Bemotrizinol and why wasn't it on the list before now? Bemotrizinol, also known as Tinosorb S, BMT, and Parsa Shield, is a modern organic sunscreen filter. It helps protect against UVA and UVB, and its one of the major advantages is that it is photostable, meaning it does not break down easily in sunlight. It can also help stabilize other sunscreen ingredients in the formula. The reason it was not previously on the US list is that less about Bemotrizinol being new or suspicious, but it's more about the US regulatory pathway. In the United States, sunscreens are regulated as over-the-counter drugs, so the FDA requires a specific level of safety and efficacy data before adding an ingredient to the monograph. That process has historically been slow. Many other modern filters used in Korea, Europe, Australia, and other markets have been unavailable in the United States for the same reason. What kind of arguments kept Bemotrizinol off the list for so long? I would not frame it as one specific argument against Bemotrizinol. It was more of a broader regulatory bottleneck for modern sunscreen filters. Dermatologists and public health advocates have argued for years that American consumers should have access to newer and more cosmetically elegant, broad-spectrum filters that are already used internationally. On the regulatory side, the FDA has wanted robust safety data, including information about systemic absorption and long-term use, because sunscreen is applied repeatedly, often over a large body surface area, and used by children and pregnant patients. That caution is understandable, but the result was that US sunscreen innovation fell behind other countries. What are the pros and cons of Bemotrizinol? Bemotrizinol provides broad-spectrum UVA and UVB protection and is photostable, has low skin absorption, and appears to have low irritation potential. From a practical standpoint, it may help companies make sunscreens that feel more elegant and are easier for patients to use every day. That is especially important for patients with melasma, hyperpigmentation, photoaging concerns, or a history of skin cancer. The cons are mostly formulation-based. Bemotrizinol is not magic. The final sunscreen still depends on the full formula, the other filters used, the vehicle, and whether people apply enough and reapply appropriately. Also, because many of the most elegant Korean and European sunscreens combine several modern filters, Bemotrizinol alone does not completely close the gap. Bemotrizinol or Tinosorb S is generally much less associated with the chalky white cast we see with zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, where the final cosmetic appearance depends on the whole formula. On the other hand, Bezotrozole or Tinosorb M is a different filter and can sometimes be more visible because it behaves more like a particulate filter, which means that it kind of works like a physical sunblocker. So I would not say that Tinosorb M is necessarily the no white cast alternative, formulation still matters. Anything else we need to know about Bemotrizinol for safety? From a safety standpoint, it's reassuring that Bemotrizinol has been used in other countries for many years, and the FDA reviewed the data before adding it to the US sunscreen monograph. The FDA's action allows use up to 6% and considers it appropriate for adults and kids 6 months and older. By the way, in Korea, it's used up to 10%. For my patients, this is a welcome improvement, but it does not change the basics. Use a broad spectrum SPF 30 or higher, apply enough, reapply every couple hours, and use hats, sunglasses, shade, and sun protective clothing in addition to using sunscreen. The best sunscreen technology still only works if people actually use it consistently.